What's up there, Bears fans? Welcome back for another episode of the Tailgate Show on the Brawl Network.
They're brawling.
We brawling. We brawls out. We brawls in. We brawls.
Came in hot with that intro, bro. I like
That's
it.
right.
My brawl's coming in the mail.
It's
so I need
Double
to
A.
get the aviators. Match you guys.
It's your boy Double A. It's AARONTOR on Twitter. B Quinn 34. Brian Quinn B Diddy on Twitter. And we got our man Air Jer, the Ginger Unicorn, Jeremy Kramer, Air Jer 54 on Twitter. Follow us.
Looking
Please
quite
wait.
dapper, actually.
That's right. Look at the all whites. Those the whites. The aviators
have
are
faith in
kicking.
yourself.
Yep.
All whites mean you got faith in
we
yourself.
are here. Got
Yep.
our brawl shirts in.
We're waiting. Jer's waiting on his shirt. They actually don't have mail service in Indiana. It's they have to wait for the milk delivery truck to
Pony Express,
to deliver
bro.
the
Pony
mail.
Express.
Yeah, it's like if you've ordered milk, you can get your mail this week. But if you haven't, no mail for you.
No.
That's how that works. So what's up, boys?
Nothing much, man. Kind of watching the end of the All-Star game here.
What game is that?
NBA All-Star game.
Oh, that's right. It's in Chicago. That's right.
That's right.
Hey, at least they get to watch good basketball for a little while there in Chicago.
Yeah, we got that cool court. It's got the skyline on it. Fortunately, no players to go with that cool court, but
They did a
all
nice
good.
tribute to Kobe, though. It was pretty cool. Magic came out, talked a little bit. Jennifer Hudson sang a song, had pictures of Kobe going on in the background. It was pretty cool, man. Nice to see. And I've enjoyed the All-Star weekend, though. I like the dunk contest. Three-point shootout was good. Got
but the
spices.
skills competition is beat. I'm sorry. The skills competition is like they got to do something to spice it up. I mean, I would say that the only good part about the Pro Bowl weekend actually is the skills competition. They've done a good job of coming up with some cool things to watch.
I thought you were talking about the
that.
actual skills competition, like the one they do the dribbling and stuff. I thought the
Yeah,
dunk
I think
contest
it
was
sucks.
really good.
No, I'm talking about the skills competition. I think it sucks, and they could come up with better things to do, like throw into a little circle, and then basically it's like when you were a kid and you used to play around the world, make a layup, then go out, shoot from the key, then go out, you know what I mean? Like that's basically the skills competition, except for you got to dribble down the court and throw a
That's
chest
how you
pass.
played around the world. We used to draw the little chalk lines and make rows, and you had to hit from every single spot.
Well, if you have a court that has lines, you
No, you draw your own with chalk, bro.
Well, I had courts that had lines most of the time.
Well,
That's the one thing we do have in
They were
India.
outdoor painted
Basketball
courts.
courts with lines on them.
They had lines.
Nice.
If not,
I didn't have that at my house, man. I had to draw chalk lines.
Well, I didn't have a basket at my house. Talking about going to the
God.
park.
That's the one thing in Indiana that's everywhere is basketball.
Right.
Well, Dan and French Lick, they put hoops on the barns.
Hell yeah, we
Basketball
do.
hoops, meth, and guns. That's it's everywhere.
Amen. God bless America.
Giant,
Fuck yeah.
giant slabs of pork tenderloin, fried,
Damn
golden
right.
brown and delicious. God damn it!
Y'all jealous.
I had a pork tenderloin sandwich at Culver's the other night, and I was very disappointed in the size of it, and I wanted it to be larger. Pause.
You want a larger pork.
That's what they all say. That's why you gotta come down to Southern Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Get the big horn
We're
from
packing.
the unicorn himself. Shout out to Humphreys McGee for finding your wallet.
Oh my God, that was a fucking crazy night.
So what did Jared do the other night? He went to a cave and saw a jam band and lost his wallet.
I lost my mind and my wallet. Are you
The
kidding
life
me?
and times of Jeremy Kramer.
It's good times. It's good times. Pro tip: do not drink a case of beer in 4 hours. It's a bad idea.
No nonsense.
And I had to do the math.
Do that at my ripe old age, man.
Pretty sure that's what it says on the back. Drink 6 per hour or as instructed.
Absolutely. When you're fighting that sleep and then the alcohol starts taking over, it's like, okay, we're on that train.
That's a shit ton of beer here.
Oh, it was a great time until I lost my wallet the next morning. It's like, fuck.
What kind of beer, though?
The whole case to your head? Just you? Your lady didn't help you out?
Oh, she she helped me out. She helped me get in the car. She got me back to the hotel. She's great, man. I can't say anything bad about her. She was a trooper.
What kind of beer were you chugging, man?
Let's see. We had
Natty Ice.
No, I wish. Those were the good old days right there. Bud Light mostly, and then there were some Miller Lights in there, and then I ended up with one of the local breweries, Yeehaw. I think it's what it's called. I think I actually have the can with me. I can't even make that shit up. But yeah, if you ever get to Pelham, Tennessee, the Caverns, it's a phenomenal place. I mean, acoustically, it's great. Lights and sound, just phenomenal. I totally recommend it. And the people are cool.
Is there anything around that area to like actually?
Chattanooga. You're right next to Chattanooga, Murfreesboro. You're less than an hour from Nashville.
Is that near Dolly World?
It might be in that area. I didn't really pay next to zero attention about the roads. I was just like, I'm going to a show. Woo-hoo.
No, nice, man. It looked like a dope spot though to catch a show.
Oh my God, it was great. And it was 54 degrees, so like we were outside, it was like 30. Nice. We get in the cave, it's like 54. Beautiful. Talk about synergy.
Hey, Ginger Unicorn hit a cave.
Plus, they found your wallet.
Yes, I was like, woohoo! And then the kick in the nuts is that it's being sent to my ex-wife's house.
Yikes. That's fine.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, that's like shit.
Where half of it goes anyway, right?
No.
Oh, you got lucky, huh?
We had a good party. All things considered. Thanks for that. Jeez. Let's try right on in.
Well, all right. That was a great show, guys.
Yeah.
This is
Welcome to my personal life.
Tailgate.
Anyway.
Well,
it was a great time.
I have to say this is the first week that I feel like has been kind of a slow week. I mean, there really hasn't been much news going on. I mean, we just been,
trying the official parting of Phillip Rivers from the Chargers.
Yeah, but I feel like that was already announced. I mean, they didn't officially announce it, but everybody knew that was coming. Like
it was
expected.
I don't see him. Do you really see him going anywhere? I just don't see anybody really signing him. I feel like he might be a guy that is going to hang around, and if there's an injury, then he'll pop up. But I kind of feel like he's going to retire.
No, I don't. I think he's the kind of guy that has always had a chip on his shoulder. He just seems like that guy. But I think didn't he move his family to Florida?
Yes.
It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I thought he'd go somewhere like Indy. There's a couple Bears pods are talking about how he'd be fit here. I just don't. I don't see it.
Well, Hogan and Johns were talking about the contract fit for whenever Manning left Indy to go to Denver, about it being like almost 5 years for $96 million, and it was basically a year-to-year. It was a year-to-year contract. I don't see the Bears doing anything like that.
I just don't see them.
Manning had stuff built into that too, though. Didn't he have like stock in the team or some crazy stuff?
I have no idea. That would be me speculating, but
I just don't see us bringing in a guy like Rivers, and I'm just not sure like where he's a great fit. I mean, he's really just he's diminished. I mean, the fact of the matter is he's diminished. I mean, you're talking about a team that people were picking. As many people picked the Chargers to go to the Super Bowl as picked the Bears last year.
Yeah.
Like, people were high on that team. They got, Joey Bosa. They got, and then, of course, they lost their safety. And then, the running back held out. And, I mean, but it's a talented team. It's not like they're not a talented team, Like,
is that interesting over there, Daddy?
It's very interesting. He's watching the All-Star games.
Yeah, 145, 143.
Wow. What is it, the second quarter?
That was the fourth quarter, so they have to score in honor of Kobe, the first team that scores 20.
Sorry to interrupt the All-Star game. We're trying to have a pod about football. My bad.
We'll let you get back to it.
I just think Phillip Rivers was on a good team, and he wasn't good. Like, I mean, that's my thing. So who's really clamoring for his services? Like, he's He's not Brett Favre. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of
No, but he's still got a little bit of an arm left. I could see where
he's a guy you can win because of, though.
Yes,
That's
you can also lose because of too. We saw that he did that a lot last year with the soul crushing picks.
right.
I mean, he's very much
I think Indy'd be a good
on that
fit
Kirk
for him.
Cousins train.
I don't see Indy. That's definitely not a place I see.
Or what happens if
I could
he's
see
in
Tennessee.
Tampa?
No, I really think, and I was listening to Barstool Radio actually because I was driving the wife's car and she's got XM in the car, so I was tooling around the dial there, and they were talking. They've got some Tampa insider guy that they talked to, and
he's coming back.
He's going back. Like it's really not. He's saying that the national media has made this Winston leaving thing a lot bigger, and he got the LASIK, and I think he's going back.
See, some dude got blocked on Twitter because that was classic.
That tweet with the GIF of like the guy like looking like, huh? Like I don't have 8 receivers. Like I have 4.
What somebody posted something about he just realized the Bucks don't wear blue.
Yeah. So Jameis, I guess DM this guy like delete the tweet.
That's hilarious.
It's like fuck you, delete the tweet.
Jameis was like, eat that W.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think he's leaving, so I don't think that's in play. I could see maybe the Dolphins. I could see the Titans, perhaps. But I just don't see them as like being. I don't know. Like you really think that he's gonna go and win somewhere? I mean,
I think any team that brings in a rookie quarterback and wants to let him learn for a year or two.
Yeah. Well, how about the
possibility?
Jets? How about the Jets? I mean,
that's Sam Darnold's trash. Kind of program up there.
Like, the Jets are a team that loves to bring in fucking old crappy veterans and let them start for a year.
They haven't put a ton around him yet, though, either. I mean, Bell's pretty beat up.
I guess. I mean, I don't think they gave him much of a chance to do a lot. I don't think he's beat up. I just think they don't. Like, are you really gonna? Are you not gonna load the box up against Darnold? I mean, come on. I don't know. Darnold's bad.
Take him over Mitch, though.
Seeing ghosts.
I wouldn't take Darnold over Mitch. Absolutely not. No. Absolutely not. I don't like Darnold.
It's a lateral move.
I don't think it. Like,
it's a mono.
No, I've seen him play football. He's not good at it. like I don't need the devil I don't know. I know him. He sucks. Like
Dallas is offensive coordinator, though.
Yeah. Okay. Gase is the offensive coordinator. Dowell's just Gase's fucking towel boy. Dowell. Like, it's not, I mean.
Yeah, I could see Rivers in a place like Miami.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that frees up Fitzpatrick and
Jacksonville.
I don't see Jacksonville. They got. I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to trade Foles, and they got Minshew.
I hope they're not.
They like Minshew mania. All they want to do is sell tickets. I mean, that's why they're going to London for however many games.
I wonder how that Minshew. I wish there was a live webcam in to see how that dude's doing with his camper trip across the U.S. Living the dream.
I don't know. I'm sure
there's probably one on Pornhub.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure Minshew's doing just fine.
Oh, living his best life, man.
Yeah, his that RV's got the cash, ass, or grass sign, and he's saying no cash accepted.
That's right. Classic.
That's it. Ass and grass bus all year.
So you put out some
Gardner and the bank bus. No, go ahead.
You put out some polls about
yeah, well,
different groups of quarterbacks.
I was bored and I did a little polling of our Bears faithful, and got some decent results. Kind of interesting stuff. I did leave out Alex Smith and
really
because I
didn't.
No, I don't think that's a reality. I mean, like, let's see what happens when we see this, like, documentary of him, but that guy barely can run on a treadmill. Like, we're talking about trading for him, the 35-year-old guy who almost
Do you
died.
really think the Bears trade for anybody, though? I just don't see that.
No, do I think they do it? Absolutely not. I don't think they do any of this. I just think I guess it's fun to talk about, because if all we do is sit here and wait for the Mitch train to come down the tunnel and hit us again, I'm going to cry. So let's just
Mike brought up that they were kind of talking about the rumors of the Mac trade, even though they are kind of crazy, but like the potential of, say you do trade to Washington for the second, right? You get Alex Smith in that deal, and you can draft Chase Young.
Yeah, and then he was saying sign to David and Clowney. I mean, he was definitely playing devil's advocate, but he did a pretty good job of it.
I was like, ooh, okay.
A lot of it was just to get Raul and G fired up, which it definitely did. But I also, like, after a minute, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I don't think, because you don't know what you have.
You don't trade a known commodity force, number one, for an unknown, no matter who it is.
You bring in Clowney and Young, and you have Alex Smith, who would have to pass the physical. It was an interesting counterpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard crazier ideas on Twitter. Let's put it that way. Like, at first I was like,
wait, plausible.
It's hot take season, so we got to talk about it.
Like, I didn't, at first I was like, and then I was like, wait, that's not the craziest thing I've heard. But at the end of the day, as we've well said, the Bears have basically made Mac the face of the franchise.
Oh, you don't trade him, but I'm just saying,
right. Like, they tried to make Mitch the face of the franchise, and it didn't work. So it's Mac. Like, they're not going to trade that. I mean, the Bears are very comfortable being a bad team with a good defense and selling jerseys and tickets. They've done it for years. So it's not like they're not going to step out of their comfort zone.
It felt a little different over a minute.
Yeah, it's same old Bears. So my tweets that I put out from the Tailgate Show on Twitter, the QB carousel is spinning, Bears fans. Choose your QB from these other vets who could be available via trade or free agency. So we had David Carr, Dalton, Bridgewater, or stick with Mitch. The winner on this one was actually David Carr, surprisingly. 37%, then 7% for Dalton, which is fine because Dalton sucks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's always David with you, man.
Derek. Didn't I say Derek?
I thought you said David. It's all good.
I don't know. Derek. Anyway, Derek. We know who we're talking about. David's retired. Teddy Bridgewater, 28%, and then tied with him, Trubisky, 28%. So, I mean, I don't know. And I've been going back and forth with people about Carr today, and I just don't.
I like Carr, man.
I feel like the whole idea that Carr is bad is just like made up. Like, it's like Gruden got there and I mean, yeah, he broke his leg and he had a back injury and stuff, and he kind of had a little down patch or whatever. But this bad season supposedly in 2018, like, we would be jumping up and down if Mitch had that bad season.
He had Amari Cooper, and
he had Amari Cooper for 6 games in 2018.
That's what I'm saying. And
he had Jordy Nelson. He had Jared.
He had a broke ass Jordy Nelson, though.
But Jordy Nelson ended up actually having like 750 yards and like 60
Derek
catches.
Carr.
Correct. Like, this is after Amari Cooper left. Amari Cooper was there for 6 games, and I think Jordy Nelson was hurt to start the season.
Yeah, but they lost Antonio Brown this year. Who do you have?
This year he didn't have shit.
He had some tight end that kind of
reinvented
himself, which was cool.
He had Waller and he had Jacobs.
Yeah,
and
man.
He didn't have shit else. I mean, and in 2018 he passed for 4,000 yards. He had like a 69% completion percentage. Like, he had a 94 quarterback rating. Like,
there is something to the Derek Carr cold weather thing.
There is. He's 0-5.
He brought up a great counterpoint.
181 passing
Khalil was there
yards.
for some of those. Khalil was there for some of those.
55% completion percentage.
The fact of the matter is he's been on a lot of bad teams. I mean, he had one 12-4 year where he went to the Pro Bowl, and the rest of the time they've been bad. I mean, they've been 8-8, 4-12, 3-13. Like, And they've had horrible defenses. Like you look, the one year they went 12-4, the defense was ranked like 20th. Every other year it's like 24th, 28th, 27th, 32nd. Like their defenses have been bad. So if you're going to use the argument that one, Carr hasn't won a lot of games, has a bad record as a starter, well, I guess Khalil Mack sucks too, because Khalil Mack was on those teams. And then the cold weather thing too. It's like, well, Khalil Mack was on those teams, and so he can't play in the cold either. I mean, I know it's quarterback, and
remember when we had Barkley?
Yeah, but you're talking 55% completion percentage.
When we had Matt, had Matt Barkley though, he was a warm weather dude. He had to wear that wetsuit when he played that cold game, but I don't know, man. Cold weather. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Cam Newton plays most of his games in warmer weather too, and everybody's sweating him.
But look at it. I mean, they did an article. USA Today did an article on November 29, 2019, and they talk about this because Trey Wingo had this tweet. So 0-4, 152 yards per game, 51% completion percentage, 3 TDs, 4 touchdowns, 9 total QBR. Fuck QBR. QBR is so stupid. But week 17, 2014 versus the Broncos, 40 degrees. It was. This is first game under 40-degree weather, and the Broncos were 11-4, and the Raiders were 3-12.
High altitude.
Yeah, right.
Since we're going there,
right. So it was bad. Like he had a bad game, definitely. Then 2015 versus the Chiefs, 37 miles per hour winds, 37 degrees, or 7 mile per hour wind, 37 degrees. The Chiefs were the hottest team in football starting the season 1-5 and 9-game win streak coming into that game. Carr was pedestrian in this game, throwing 21 of 33, 198 yards, touchdown and interception. If Trubisky went 21 of 33,
that game, dude.
Yeah, we'd be like, amazing. This is so great. Look at all the signs he's showing. He's and he was sacked 6 times.
But this is a guy. Okay, but you got to use that in the context of: are you willing to give up draft capital for him?
I don't think you're going to have to give up a lot of draft capital. Look, I mean,
do you think he's going to end up cut?
No, he's not going to end up cut. But he's the Raiders are very serious about Brady. They want Brady. So
I try to tell you, Gruden loves those veterans, man.
I mean, you saw Brady at the UFC fight, and freaking Al Davis Jr.
Here's one for you. Now you got to think about
whatever it is.
The options he had. He threw for 4,054 yards, 21 touchdowns, 8 picks with a 100.8 rating. Come on, man.
Yes, he's good. He's a good quarterback.
That would be the franchise season record.
4,000 yards. And I said today that
if he had to throw to,
if you put his stats in the Bears all-time quarterbacks, he would be number 2 all-time in yards, number 2 all-time in touchdowns, number 1 all-time in rating, number 1 all-time in yards per game. He's 28 years old. He makes $21.5 million, which ain't shit anymore. It sounds like a lot, but it isn't anymore. It's not that much money.
Who's his boy?
His boy is Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack still.
Now, if you have a leader on the offense and a leader on the defense that are boys, you know how that unifies the team?
And he's tough. He's tough as shit.
Yes, he's a leader.
He plays hard. He's a leader.
He sets a tone.
Bears fans are actually coming up with as many excuses as to why not to get a guy like Derek Carr as to why Trubisky is good. I mean, and it's just crazy to me. Like, we are so whacked when it comes to thinking about quarterbacks. Like, I mean,
a lot of us bought the jersey. I told you guys I got that.
Exactly.
I got an autographed 16x20 picture of him, all right? I was wrong. I'm okay with that. Like, we got sold a bag of goods. I mean, we went through Kevin White. It's not as extreme. Mitch is better than Kevin White as far as production. But
and the Raiders, here's the Raiders deal. The Raiders are saying we're either going to tank for Trevor Lawrence or somebody or something like that, or we're going to go all in on Brady and make a splash for 2 seasons in Las Vegas. And the thing about Brady going there is, what is he going to? I mean, that's the problem.
He's going,
like, he's going to Josh Jacobs, and I mean, they have a good offensive line, but I just don't see, I think the Raiders are getting used by Brady. You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing, is like, I just don't.
Brady's going to use wherever he goes, though, for his own benefit too, with his legal
Good for
steroid
him, by the
TB12
way.
stuff, and I mean,
Good for him.
He's looking for a payday. He's looking to grow his brand. So
but here's, I mean,
one
Robert
hand
Kraft,
washes the other there.
Yeah, Robert Kraft said that the way it's going to work is they're going to let him test free agency. He knows what he has on the table. He knows what the Patriots are, and they're going to let him go out and test the waters. And then they need to know the thing they can't do is, like in the past where he's held them hostage for the whole offseason. You know, I mean, and Gronk did the same thing. So it's like, go out there, see what offers you can get, kick the tires, do the free agency tour, and then if you want to come home, you got 2 years, $60 million waiting for you, and maybe you win another ring, or you have a farewell tour or whatever the fuck. Everybody builds you a bench, or gives
rocking
you a jersey, rocking chair.
And this is what I'm dealing with right now. He's jumping up on me. Yeah,
There's
man.
a cat. So yeah, that's what I think. I mean, and so the thing with Carr is that if the Raiders pull off signing Brady, they have to get rid of Carr. Like, then they obviously can't afford to spend $50 million at the quarterback position, so they have to get rid of him. So I don't think that it's going to take more than a second round pick to get him.
It's all hypothetical, man, but we have 2.
I mean, I would give a second this year and a second next year.
I would let them sign Tom Brady and watch it shake out.
Well, yeah.
I would not offer trade capital for him. No way.
Well, I think it's going to take a trade to get him, though.
You think it's going to be a second, though? I think we could go later than that, because they're going to be
I would say that
we don't have any.
You could probably wait for him to be cut, because that's coming.
Right.
Why outbid yourself?
Well, because
depends what the date.
That's what we do.
Right.
Yeah, but it depends on the date when he can get cut without it being a cap casualty.
At the end of the day, like, do I think this is going to happen? No. Do I think they're going to sign for Cam Newton? No, I don't. But the idea that, and I don't know if that's what all Bears fans are thinking, is that they just don't even want to get themselves excited or anything. But by the same token,
it's fun to talk hypothetical, though. I mean, I can see them not doing anything.
There's still more polls to go.
Right.
I can see them not doing the damn thing and sticking with Mitch.
Absolutely. So that was the other one. This is the next poll. Younger veterans with up and down track records are available as free agents. The options are Winston, who we just talked about is probably not that available, but he is technically a free agent. Mariota, Tannehill, and the other choice is stick with Trubisky. This was a landslide for stick with Trubisky.
I don't know if that's a good idea, though. I would have probably kicked the tires on the Jameis Winston. He just had his surgery. He can see now.
Well, the thing about Winston is that he's going to get I think he's going to get $30 million a year. And I don't know if I would. I can't say I necessarily disagree with this one if this is really the options. But for me, I would probably go with Tannehill. Of these 4, I would go with Tannehill. Tannehill's already been down and he's been up. He's worked through it. He's figured it out. He's gone to a new team. He's I think he's proven more than Mitch has proven at this point.
Who go back to
Winston and Mariota. These are all the guys that played through their 5-year contracts.
I take Winston over Tannehill.
Why?
But for that,
I don't like Tannehill, man. I think they caught lightning in a bottle. That I think you just saw his peak. I'm not sold on the dude.
I think you can go with the Derrick Henry argument too there.
I think you can go with the contract year argument with Tannehill. This guys all of a sudden blossom on their contract year. He is who he is, man. I think this was the best year ever going to see out of him.
No, he's had better years. He already had better years, and they were with Bill Lazor. So
Lazor.
I don't know. He was pretty.
Pew pew pew.
He was pretty safe this year with the interceptions.
So you take. That's fine. You take him.
Not Marcus Mariota, which is surprising.
I don't want Mariota.
I like the idea of Mariota going to another place and maybe turning things around, but I think Winston has way more potential. I know he's thrown a lot of picks.
Is by far the cheapest of those. I
just think Winston has a lot of upside still.
I'd love to. I'm really interested to see what Mariota gets. Like, I have no idea what kind of money he's going to get. I would say somewhere in the Teddy Bridgewater, like $10 million range. I don't think he's going to get much more than that. The next one was these veterans with Hall of Fame resumes are available as high-priced free agents. Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, and stick with Trubisky. Drew Brees barely won this one, 39%. Then second place was stick with Mitch, 37%. And third place is Brady, 20%. And fourth place is Rivers, 4%.
It's insane.
So I don't get it. Like, wouldn't you just like to see it? I mean, like, I would just like to see. If you told me we were getting Tom Brady, like, that would just be cool. I don't even care if it was for 2 years. Like, come on. Why not?
Mitch, dude.
Like, I mean, it's insane. Like, I
could see where somebody would. I mean, you're going to use the youth argument in that case. You know, it's like Mitch is young. That's basically.
It's just
playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want anything out of Mitch, you bring in a guy like Brady for him to learn from.
Well, and this is what's funny to me is that, like, people's argument is like, well, Brady's going to come on this team, and what does he have around him? More than he has in New England.
Yes.
They have nothing there. Like, they have nobody.
Yeah, like, I mean, we need a tight end and a right guard.
I mean, he wouldn't attract free agents either, I'm sure. You know,
people will come to play with him. Like, are you kidding me? Gronk would probably come out of retirement because Gronk would have a steakhouse here.
Can you imagine?
In 5 minutes, there would be a Gronk steakhouse on the corner. And like 3 of them would open up tomorrow if Brady and Gronk came to Chicago.
Can you imagine what he would do for Taylor Gabriel? I know Gabriel's probably going to be cut because of the cap number, but
Trubisky,
like guys that are wide open though. I'm just saying.
I know.
You've seen it. You can't throw a defense at this guy that he hasn't seen, man. There's a lot of value to that.
I mean,
he releases the ball quick as hell. In Nagy's offense,
slant that Mitch can't hit, Brady hits. Yeah, every deep ball that Mitch can't hit, Brady hits. Like, Allen Robinson.
Brady steps ahead of you too. This isn't This is a whole different ball game. I can't even believe that people.
How torn would you be if Tom Brady was our quarterback, Daddy?
I would be fine if he was in a Bears uniform, man. I'm at the point where if anything's an upgrade, I'm down. I don't care what the name on the back of the jersey says. Jared, imagine Tom Brady running this offense. The quick release.
Oh,
that guy's open, man. I'm just saying, like, I'd be fine with that.
He'd score 35 points a game
and
easily.
Have the defense to back him up and to keep them fresh. Come on,
we still have to get a tight end because we don't have one of those.
So yeah.
But see, that's
you can put
Cordero
Dude, I guarantee you, if Tom Brady comes to town, Trey Burton's hip would be like healed. Like, it would just be like,
and that's the thing. Like,
praise God.
Get those TB12 injections, motherfucker would have like a RoboCop hip, bro.
It's different too, bro. Like, with Mitch, do we really know if there's any potential in the tight end room? Like, you got a guy like Brady, and I don't think in my lifetime I've ever seen a Bears quarterback that makes people around them better. They always had to put talent around our quarterbacks, right? I'm just saying, this is a whole different ball game. Like, you might see guys step up that we didn't think that had the skills that we may be blown away. This is a guy that will make somebody better.
All right. How many guys left New England and got better?
I'm just saying.
Nobody.
But that's the thing. So franchise quarterbacks are guys that actually make their talent better. Like, we've never fucking had that.
These guys that, think they're the shit and act like, it's not Tom Brady. It's like Tom Brady makes household names out of like 5'7" white guys who can't run.
Oh, remember Troy Brown?
Yeah.
Who?
Deion Branch.
Come on, talk about it, man. Come on, man.
Like, it's just insanity to me. Like, I know, I guess, I mean, I know there's a little bit of just like, why are we even talking about it?
Everybody on that list, I take over them. Come on.
It's just mopey shit. Like, I'm just, like, how are you going to stick with, I don't know, I don't get it. Like, how are you going to say that you want to stick with Mitch over, like, Hall of Famers? Like, even if they're just here for one season, I would like to see it. Mitch can sit and learn if you're so high on Mitch.
Right.
Like, we're not going to cut the guy.
I think the best thing for him, and I know you didn't add him to the list, but like a guy like Alex Smith, if you really want what's best for Mitch, like pray that Alex Smith Southeast comes in here and look what he did for Mahomes.
Hey, if they can get his leg reattached, he'll be all right.
If Alex Smith didn't almost die, I would be all for Alex Smith.
Oh, no, I hear you, man. I don't know where he's at physically, but what I'm saying is if you really want Mitch to succeed, the best case situation for him is to sit behind Smith and learn how to run this thing.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't you just have that basically with Chase right next to him?
Chase isn't as skilled as Alex Smith, man. You can
Nobody knows the offense just as good, and you saw it in the Detroit games and the Minnesota game.
Yeah,
he knows the offense. He's limited by his size.
Chase has a 70% completion percentage.
And that's my argument. That was my counterpoint with someone tonight on Twitter. They were like, "Oh, I don't like Carr." I'm like, dude, Chase Daniel looked serviceable in this offense. A guy was like Carr, more skilled. Come on, man.
Like there was points where I thought maybe Chase Daniel should have started.
I would have liked to have seen it. I mean,
why not?
Why not? You know, like that's what I'm saying.
Not anymore.
So the other poll was revets coming off injuries and require trades, plus they make big money. So the other news over the past little while was that there was a rumor put out there by a Detroit news station that they were supposedly in talks to trade Stafford. Now, that was kind of, it kind of quickly dispelled, but at the same time, like, you start talking about it, you start thinking about it, it's kind of like, well, maybe they like Driscoll. Maybe if they could get out from under that big contract, it kind of gives them a little flexibility.
Where does Detroit draft?
I think they have the 6th or 7th pick. I want to say they have a pretty high pick.
That's going to put you kind of out of the top quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they might find a Justin Herbert there or Jordan Love. It's possible.
Stafford is kind of interesting, but God.
Like, what if you said to the Chargers, like, we'll give you Stafford and, whatever, your pick plus another pick. I don't know. Oh, I guess they have the number 3 pick.
They won't trade him in the division.
They have the number 3 overall pick. Never mind.
Really? Well, then they're firmly in play for a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. They're in play for Tua or.
You won't see an in-division trade like that.
I'm not talking about an in-division trade. I said the Chargers.
My bad. I'm cutting in late. I had to put my cat upstairs, man. He was annoying me.
I don't think there's going to be an in-division trade. I don't think the Bears would trade for Stafford, but I just put it out there because he's a free agent. So the
32 years old.
Yeah. And he's injured, but whatever. So the questions were Cam Newton, Stafford, Foles, or stick with Mitch. So once again, stick with Mitch won. And this one got the most votes, too. 251 votes. 37% said stick with Mitch. 30% said Stafford. 27% said Cam Newton. And then 6% said Foles.
I could see Stafford in the offense. The quick release. He's still mobile enough that you could run an RPO.
Better than Mitch.
Stafford's another guy that's just been on terrible teams, like terrible defenses.
He had Calvin though.
He's had some talent.
No, Joe Galloway. Kenny Galladay.
He's had some talent.
Golden Tate, let's not forget.
I'm saying.
You almost have forgot.
Traded.
He's been playing on some really badly coached, bad defensive teams, always playing from behind.
When Sports was there, their defense was decent. Let's not just count that. They were dirty, but they were
wide 9. They were okay, but If they had a decent defense to go along with that offense, they should have done way more than 8-8, 9-7.
Mitch Trubisky tears them up. How good are they?
Well, now they do.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a different scheme
that
now.
Stafford's on.
Yeah.
That's the same team that Stafford is on.
Yeah, but it's a different defensively coached team.
I get it. I'm just saying, like.
I know. I got you.
I think Stafford's a pretty damn good quarterback. Like.
Yes.
I mean, if Stafford was.
I'd take him over Mitch.
Of course. If Stafford was a Bear, I mean, people would cream their shorts over him. I mean, the way people still love Cutler for all the numbers he put up. If Stafford, I mean, shit. I don't really want Foles, I guess. Like,
no.
Yeah, I think that's like a Jeff Hostetler thing, man. You just caught lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, although, I mean, he's not going to really be that expensive. After the trade and the dead cap that Jacksonville has to eat, he's only like $15 million to the team that ends up getting him. So it wouldn't shock me. Now, if we're talking about people that they're going to bring in as veterans, and I actually think is likely, because of the familiarity with the system, because of DeFlippo, because of this, that, and the other, it would not shock me at all to see Foles brought in here, because Foles is familiar with being a backup. He's done the thing with Carson Wentz. He knows all the parties involved. He already knows the offense, basically. So if there's a trade, to be pulled, I think that's the one, because Jacksonville will definitely give up Foles for very little.
So then Pace can sell to the fan base that there's a fake competition when you're just going to let Foles back up Trubisky.
Absolutely. And you can that can I could see the front of the media guide already on that shit.
Yeah.
Like they got that all warmed up in the PR hopper, ready to go. I mean,
this makes me want to vomit.
Exactly. Like, it's just crazy. But so I could see it. So I'm not mad at people for not voting for him. I do think it's a little crazy to not even to have Stafford beat out Cam Newton. Like, although I don't know, Cam's hurt. I don't know.
Cam's a wild card too. I mean, like I told you, I'm not sold that he's all about football. I think he's very much about his brand.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I think that's kind of
maybe that's an unfair assessment. I don't know.
I mean, I think he's a good guy. I don't have any character issues with him. I think he's a little, he's a little eccentric, but whatever.
I just saw Carr against our defense, man. I'm like, okay. Like, I would love that.
The nice thing about him is that he's mobile.
Yeah.
Actually physically run it.
I mean, if Cam Newton's healthy, I mean, they're definitely going to trade him. They're getting rid of everybody. Like,
I just think he might take too much. Like, they're going to want a first rounder, probably something stupid.
I don't think anybody's going to give him a first rounder.
Me either, but
who would do that?
Well, there's a lot of things you got to, it's not like Chicago is going to be this, like, we're going to have choice of whoever we want, especially if New England has a spot open.
Shit.
You know what I mean? That changes the game.
Yeah,
I mean, that happened to us with,
I think we talked about that when we had Schofield on. It seemed like, I think AA brought it up. He's like, everybody that we're in play with, New England is also very much in play with, and that's tough.
That's tough. Well, that's the domino. That's the big domino to fall.
I think it was Gilmore, right? Gilmore, like, Pace threw him an offer, and he ended up going. You get the chance to go to New England, you're going.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. One other thing that happened this week, which was kind of interesting, is that Tony Jefferson got cut by the Ravens. I think that's a safety that the Bears should take a look at. He's a good player, strong safety, but has athleticism, range. That'd be somebody that, I guess he was due to make $10 million. So,
what's your guys' top 5 though choices if you had
quarterbacks,
whether it be rumored or free agents?
Like
rumored potential trades or whatever.
Who we think or who I really want?
Your top 5, man. Out of the rumored available, out of the rumored could possibly be traded, or the people that are free agents. However you want to mash it up. What's your top 5?
Interesting.
For me, I would go. I mean, it's hard for me to put things out there that I just really think can't happen. Like, I'm not gonna do like
it's hot take season, man.
I know, but I'm not gonna do the fantasy shit. Like, like as much as I would love to see Brady here, I just don't. It's such a long shot that I don't even want to like put it out there.
Man, who cares?
I know, but I'm just saying. So like, I'm gonna the way I'm looking at it is, I feel like I'm gonna do a mix between what I want and what I really think would be realistic to have happen. So, and if you're asking me my top 5, I would go Carr number 1. I would go Newton number 2.
Ooh, interesting.
I would go Brady number 3. Probably Foles. Yes.
I just threw up. Sorry, my bad.
4. And I don't know. Take your pick. I don't know. I'll go Tannehill, Foles.
I got more like if it's more of a realistic approach, knowing our franchise. Carr for me is still number 1. I think I got Dalton in there. I can see Andy Dalton getting a nice goodbye, see you later, come be resurrected somewhere else.
So bad.
It's the hair. Just let it go.
Case Keenum. I could see Case Keenum getting brought in. Had a pretty nice success with the Vikings. Phillip Rivers probably 4, just because I think he could throw you into some pretty good games with receivers that he's not used to. You know what I'm saying? He's got, not to say there's anything wrong with Williams and those guys, but I think he'd be an upgrade over Mitch. And my last one is, if he has 2 legs and can walk, Alex Smith. That's a more realistic. If we're gonna do this, to me, those are the guys that I could see actually being signed by our team.
All right, so my top 5, I got Alex Smith 1. I don't really care the how realistic it is. They're just guys I'd like to see here.
Okay.
Derek Carr 2, Teddy Bridgewater 3, Cam Newton 4, and Jameis 5.
I'm just not a Teddy Bridgewater fan,
me
man.
neither. I just don't see it. People keep telling me how good he is. I just don't see it.
I'm not saying he's a.
I mean, with the Vikings in that Seattle game, they scored 9 points.
I think
and they were all Blair Walsh's points. Yeah, but very much like Mitch Trubisky.
No, he's better, man.
Oh, okay.
Teddy's better.
And he almost had his leg destroyed too.
Yeah, I just don't see.
He's back though, man. That's not even a.
So the final poll. So I took all the winners of the other polls, and we got the top. So the top 3 choices, as chosen by the fans, were trade for Derek Carr, sign Drew Brees, or stick with Mitch. And the winner between those 3 was stick with Mitch.
The truth is, are out there.
What? It was pretty close, 38%, 31%, 31%. But what?
It's like those chips, those chicken chips he was selling, have like Kool-Aid injected into them.
I don't. I just can't even. I don't understand. I want to understand.
Well, I think it's also in the wording of the question. I mean, you've got the trade for Carr. You've got the signing of Breeze. I mean, people also put a realistic factor on it. It's like, we're not going to trade. I really don't believe this team's going to trade for that.
But that's, I mean, it's
you're not going to sign Breeze away from New Orleans.
Best case scenario, Mitch, let us all be wrong, and Mitch turns it around, of course. So maybe people are just like.
But you could realistically have a scenario where you have, I don't know. I mean, what's going to happen is, and I said this before, we're going to have Mitch and Matt Moore and some rookie. That's what we're going to get. So it doesn't really matter that much. I just, the
picture of positivity.
I
like your mention of Keenum. If they're going to bring a backup in, I wouldn't mind Keenum. So
I like Keenum too.
He could actually beat Mitch out.
I did a poll where you choose your backup, and those were the choices. It was Keenum and Mitch and not Mitch. What was it? Keenum, Matt Moore, Chase Daniel, and Jeff Driscoll. And Keenum won that by a landslide, 74%.
Keenum, definitely.
And that's realistic. I don't think he's going to be that expensive. I mean, that's why I think that's going to happen. So, I mean, Matt Moore or Keenum. Maybe both. I don't think Matt Moore wants to be a third-string quarterback. He won't probably do that. But, that's what's really going to happen. I mean, to be honest. I just think it's wild.
We'll have to do a series of polls about tight ends. Because it seems to be...
Polls with tight ends?
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right.
It's dark days. I mean, it's just like I can't get hyped.
Be though. It's
I think this free agency playing. It's gonna be interesting to see how they build this, how they go about it.
It is. I just like I said, I woke up with this fear that here we are with Ryan Pace needs to make decisions on quarterback and tight end, two things that he's absolutely swung and missed so hard on in the past. So what we're hoping is that now he's got Nagy and these other guys, in his ear helping out. I mean,
that's hoping to hear they fired Pace and hired Louis Riddick, but
yeah, because at the end of the day, he made those. I think he made a lot of those decisions on his own without really consulting with Fox. He clearly did the quarterback.
Correct.
Because,
that
Fox wasn't on board with that. And,
Fox wanted Watson.
My biggest overarching concern about Pace is that Fangio and Fox actually built the defense, and Pace didn't really have that much to do with it, and Pace is actually not that good. Like, that's my secret fear about Pace.
Oh.
Like
right into the darkness.
I'm just saying that's my worry. I don't think that's true, but there's a part of me that kind of is like maybe that's
one of those things that said, "Hey, go get Danny."
Well, it's easy to fall into that dark place, man. We've had a history of bad decisions, and we thought we had the guy and Angelo for a minute, and then
I mean the last 20 years have given nobody any reason to walk around like with rose-tinted glasses on about this team.
Right.
I mean, that's just fucking the cold hard truth.
Yeah. So there's always that doubt in the back of your mind, but let's just hope they get it right, man. I think
it's interesting that how many people decided they wanted to stick with Mitch. That to me is really surprising.
You have an opportunity to do so. I've never seen a free agency like this though, where there's so many big name quarterbacks and so much potential moving and shaking at the position. Like,
I think what's weird about it too is that it's on Twitter. Like you would think that would be the opposite. I mean, the stick with Mitch people are not at the games; they're booing him at the games. So right. I don't really know. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure where this is coming from. I mean, I just think that like,
how many accounts does his girlfriend have?
Yeah, right. Like
251.
It's like something that's funny is like it's different sport obviously, but the Chris Bryant thing here has been a big story, and one thing he said is, I don't go on social media. Twitter is one of the worst things in the world, but my friends and family all send me screenshots. I'm like, cool. So like basically, you're only getting like what's the worst, because your friends and family are gonna send you like the most egregious shit, right? Like they're gonna be like, dude, did you see what such and such said about you? You know what I mean? They're only gonna send you that. Like,
yeah, I'm in the loop, but I'm not in the loop.
Right, and the same shit happens with Mitch. I mean, his girl's on Instagram 24/7. Like, so you think she doesn't see anything? Like, I mean, come on.
Oh, as soon as the season's over, she's like, look at my man. I'm on a boat.
Right, like, look at us. We're out here. We're in, Tulum, and we're in, whatever, this, that. We're on a boat. We're eating lobster tails.
He doesn't make me go in the back of a Cheesecake Factory. He classy.
How about Phillip Rivers goes to Cleveland, how many babies do you think
Oh man,
it'd be?
they'd have like
Between
polygamy would have
Baker
to become
Mayfield
legal and shit.
yeah, Baker be like, let me show you how to get this baby better working there, Baker.
Wow, man. Pause.
Big balls.
Yeah,
Wow,
man, but it is wild, and I do think that like there's a lot of Bears fans that think there's gonna be some like fucking trophy for them for sticking with Mitch, like, you know.
I was right, bro.
Right.
Who cares? We all want to see
like,
you. We all want to see him
Again,
turn.
if Mitch comes out and tears it up, I will put my Mitch jersey back on, and I will say fuck you to anybody who has a problem with it, because I will root for this team, and because I love this team,
Absolutely.
I will also talk shit about them, because that's how it works. Like, so anybody that's got this like, you don't come back on the bandwagon when shit goes good, fuck off.
Yeah, this is not what rules the fandom, man. It's short.
No.
A fan is short for fanatic. We all express how we want to. I'm okay with being wrong. Let's hot take.
Absolutely, I'm
Have
wrong all the
fun.
time.
Loosen up.
Right.
You can't be wrong about Mitch Orr. It's like, come on, man. Come on.
Well, and that's what people love to do, is it's like they want to just stick to their guns on the off chance that they're right, so they can like stick it in everybody's face.
I wonder how many of these guys, like, are these just young fans? Because like, I wonder how many were around for the Cutler years. Like, I defended Cutler all the time, man. I was fucking wrong. Like,
they can't take it. Like, they just can't take it. Like, it's like, you know, it's the participation trophy generation. Like, it's like, he's trying. He really cares.
He's so nice.
Right. It's like, that's, you know what? Like, I don't give a shit about that. Like, win some football games. And if he wins football games, I will cheer as loud as anybody for the guy. I was at the game screaming at other Bears
acting like
fans.
Pace, bro. Oh, he has a Camry. Oh, he said Jim McMahon. Oh, it's wild,
I was
man.
screaming at Bears fans in the upper deck to shut up when they were booing him in the first quarter of the first game of 2019. I was like, shut up. Stop booing this kid. You're out of control right now. Like, you know, Packer fans are looking at me like, this dude's crazy. Halatek was looking at me like, this dude's crazy. And I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. So, like, you know, like, I rode for this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I've been down that path, you know? Like,
we all defended him for a while.
I defended
We've
this
beaten
guy.
the Trubisky horse to death.
So,
I mean,
like,
come on.
Nobody can sit here and say that, like, you know, we haven't been fans, or like we're like just, you know, we want to be negative, and you know, everybody
wants to eat the crow from
everybody
from last year, because we all believe 30 touchdowns.
How long have we been waiting for a franchise quarterback?
Yeah,
I mean,
we
just
got
DJ Moore come in and smacked us in the face with it, and it's like, hey, what?
Well, and even he doesn't relish that, because he wants the Bears to be good.
We don't even need great. We just need consistently good.
And that's the thing.
That Chase what?
Decent,
yeah,
bro. Chasing decent.
That's what's crazy to me, is that people actually have this idea that the media or the former players want the Bears to be bad.
No,
like,
they earn their keep when shit's going good.
DJ Moore gets phone calls and gets paid to go and do interviews and be on TV shows and shit. Every ex-Bear from Braverman to Briggs wants the Bears to be good again, because when the Bears are good, everybody eats.
The city's popping, man.
Settle down on that Braverman talk.
It's just an example of.
He's still big, right?
No, Braverman is not so.
Is he not at Kansas City?
No.
Braverman?
No.
I was thinking he was still on somebody's roster.
No.
Anyway,
but you're right. I mean,
nobody wants them to be bad.
No,
nobody.
It's good for business, man. Everybody.
Yeah, not one single soul wants them to be bad.
No.
Like, so it just dead that noise. Like, this
talking about ridiculous. Super Bowl last offseason.
Right.
Everybody was.
It's crazy. So everybody was. And everybody that's now talking about how cocky the players were, yeah, you know
he's a St. Louis Battlehawk.
Is he?
He is a St. Louis freaking Battlehawk.
Oh. What a transition. Danny just got up and left.
That was worth it. I don't care.
Yes. the Fighting Bravermans. The St. Louis Braverman.
I just pulled that up. I couldn't make that shit up. He didn't play. Shocking.
Well, neither did Travis Gentry, but that's all right.
Or Tanner Gentry.
Him too. Fuck him. Travis. Fuck them all.
Oh, well, welcome back.
Oh, welcome back, Johnny Haircut.
I'm sorry, I got my hair cut. So,
my haircut today too.
Are you still on XFL shit?
Yeah, why not? Did you watch any of it?
Nope.
I heard
I watched the first game.
Got in there.
I fell asleep, bro.
Did you?
Yeah.
The St. Louis
was like literally
game was pretty
watching
good.
it. I'm like, old man nap time, man. Like, it was brutal. The first half was freaking brutal. They started scoring in the second half, but.
Which game did you watch?
First game today.
Which was?
I don't even know the teams, man. Like I said, I'm trying to watch
Dallas
it, so you guys have
and,
been talking about it.
Shit, who was it? Dallas and Los Angeles.
Yeah.
First one today.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I go out of my way to watch it. I put on the game today. My 8-year-old son's like, "Daddy, you're watching the XFL again?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I don't like this." I'm like, "All right." I'm trying to explain to him a little bit about it. Next thing you know, we're watching American Ninja Warrior. So it's not like it's holding my attention.
Well, I haven't looked. You guys were talking about it last week, getting all excited, so I started looking into it, looking at the stat lines. I'm like, there hasn't been a quarterback that's thrown for over 300 yards yet, and there hasn't been a running back go over 100 yet. And today, Landry fucking Jones, bro, and he played a shit game. Like, QB play's not that good. I get the cool, like, the different nuances about interviewing, laying down, interviewing players, stretching out. It's getting kind of too.
I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. That's all. I think it's a decent product. I think
I'm debating on going to St. Louis next weekend.
You guys see how much the tickets are.
I like the All-Star Weekend and the NBA way better than XFL.
I've not watched any of the All-Star.
But they're not trying to compete with each other. They're not going after NBA fans. They're going after hardcore football fans.
This weekend was All-Star Weekend, and XFL was on, and I'd rather watch NBA.
Sure, most people would.
I'm kind of the opposite, though. I think the NBA is kind of.
Did you watch CFL, bro?
No, I never watched CFL. I don't get.
You watch XFL, and CFL is actually sustainable.
I think the XFL could be sustainable.
I think you guys are falling the same trap you did with AAF.
The AAF had problems out of the gate. We talked about that earlier. It's off camera. You know, they had financial troubles right week one. It was published. It was publicized. And that started the ball sinking on them. I think through 2 weeks, I think they've done much better. And I think they've got better leadership with, what's his name's daddy?
Luck?
Yep. I think Luck's got some things going there, and the play's not terrible. I mean, Coney, Ely, and some of the names that were big names on draft days are now playing over there, trying to resurrect their careers. I mean, I think there's a market for it. I don't know if it's going to be a sustainable market for years.
It's not something I stay home to watch, man. Like, I'm kind of glad to have my weekends back after football season, so doing stuff with the family, and I don't know if I'd, like, stay home to watch XFL. Like, if I had nothing going on, I might turn it on.
We're not that crazy, but if it's on, I'll watch it.
There are enough football fans, people that like, I also would not sit at home and watch just any NFL game. Like, if it's Tampa Bay and Jacksonville playing on some random Sunday, I'm not watching that shit. I don't even care, like, if it's two bad teams on Thursday night, I'm not watching that either. I don't watch two random college football teams either. Like, I think it will find a market. They're not looking for it to have insane ratings.
I think if it does well with the fantasy football players and the gamblers, it might give it a chance.
That's the smartest move they've made, is they've appealed to those players.
By the way, Jared, I'm looking at the tickets right now. I don't think you're going. It's $108 a ticket.
Really?
Yeah.
$108.
I looked at New
Yep.
York for MetLife.
St.
They
Louis?
those must be secondary because I was looking at like $30.
No, it's just on Ticketmaster. On Ticketmaster, Battlehawks versus Guardians, 2
Well,
o'clock.
that's sold out.
It's not sold out.
They said it was sold out on Twitter. Remember?
The lower
they
ring
let
sold
Skybox
out. These are the
secondary.
It's
no,
not
it's the VIP or whatever the
Skybox.
skyboxes.
Oh, you know what? I lied. It is resale.
Yeah, they're sold out. So, like the tickets to New York, it was like 17 rows behind the end zone for $30.
So you can get on Ticketmaster resale. You can get $108.
Ouch.
What if you use that good link?
Yeah, we can check that out.
You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
Let's check out old TickSplits.com, baby.
I was talking about the Ticketmaster link.
Oh, I don't know about the Ticketmaster link.
Not up on Ticketmaster link.
What's Ticketmaster link?
Do you know this?
Don't we have a link to Ticketmaster, right?
I'm not sure.
No.
I think we do.
StubHub or
No, StubHub. My bad.
Yeah, it's stuff up.
That good stuff.
Anyway, $108. Yeah.
I'll work on Ticketmaster.
To spend another 100 on beer just to. No, it just wouldn't be worth it. Because there's a whole process to it.
I'm not there, man.
But I think it's cool. I think it's much better than. I'm sorry. I feel like
Watch
it.
paint
The
dry.
NBA is not very good and
Oh,
watchable.
come on.
It's not.
I agree. I can't watch. I mean, I can't watch a.
You can't sit down. When's the last time you sat and watched a full NBA game, start to finish?
If I wasn't doing this podcast, I would have watched the whole thing tonight.
Why?
I wouldn't.
It means
I
nothing.
enjoy basketball, man. Like
I
in the
enjoy
90s,
basketball too.
Like, yeah,
I'm
man.
just
Watch
saying,
these guys
I
run
don't.
up and
I don't
run up
enjoy
and down
NBA basketball.
run up and down the field or the court like throwing alley-oops to each other.
I don't like the brand that's out there where you just check it and. I miss post play. I miss the '90s basketball, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, if that's a fair assessment for what I feel, that's
Wasn't Larry Bird like one of your favorite players?
no. I
No,
was the Jordan guy.
were you?
Oh yeah, I was the Jordan guy. Larry was before my time, really. He was 78 whenever he was at Indiana State and played Magic. And then his Celtic runs were 81, 82. They were really good. I was 5.
I was an Olajuwon fan. I love the post game, but I still like today's NBA, man. It's the rules change. It's just like the NFL. Like quarterbacks can barely get hit anymore. Receivers don't get roughed up like they used to. They want more offense. It's the same. Sports
I don't like
change,
it.
man.
I don't like.
I enjoy the playoffs.
I enjoy the playoffs. I don't like the new NBA. There's no mid range. There's no post up games. Like it's all just chucking shots from fucking 40 feet away.
The European things kind of.
I don't mind the European influence. The Euro step and some of that stuff is fine. I
hate the Euro step. It's traveling.
I don't.
It's no.
No, bro, you're a Jordan fan. You complain about traveling. I mean, MJ was the GOAT, but come on.
Here we go.
I'm not complaining about traveling. I don't have a problem with the Euro step. Magic Johnson was doing the Euro step 30 years ago. People act like it's new. Fuck out of here. Julius Erving did that shit. George Gervin did that shit. I mean, come on. It's not new, and it's not traveling. It's just fucking creative steps.
I love the way Harden does it.
Harden is hard to watch, bro.
Foul.
Like
I got
Harden
fouled.
is hard to
Somebody
watch.
make me shoot free throws.
I like Harden. He's very talented, but the way he flops is out of control. He's a fucking flopper, and that's the other thing I don't like about the game now is the flopping. Like,
But if you had
that's
him,
why, and that's why the XFL has.
Sure, if all of a sudden he was on the Bulls,
foothold.
I'd love Harden. But I'm just like to watch him from afar, it's not enjoyable. I liked it when they changed to this small lineup because it let Westbrook get more involved. Because I like Westbrook, he drives to the hole. That's exciting. To me, that's what I want to see guys do. I just, I miss some of these guys. You got 8 paws. You got Anthony Davis, who's like 7 feet tall. Can't can't score.
Won't back a dude
PJ
down. He wants to
Tucker.
shoot it.
Right. Like that's how these guys are. They're shooting threes. Antetokounmpo is like, I mean, I know that if he can hit threes,
he's
it's
a
like
Packer fan.
it's
though, so
basically he's unstoppable. I don't even blame him for being a Packer fan, but like, I mean, it's soft, but I mean, like you get, you grew up in Chicago and in the era that he grew up in. You telling me you're gonna be all hyped about the Bears? Like, come on. And sometimes people choose teams just to piss off their dads too. So you never know.
I know about that.
That's what I'm fucking saying. So
I became a Rockets fan then when they were playing the Celtics in the championship back in the 80s, and then I became a Bears fan when I was watching a Bears-Packers game.
Let's get into your daddy issues.
I'm good.
No, by all means.
Well, my point is that I'm watching this NBA All-Star game, right? And this is a year that they do a lot where they all wear just one color jersey, each team. I don't even recognize some of these guys without their jerseys on. Like, they were talking to Pascal Siakam, and I didn't know who he was because he didn't have his Raptors jersey on. I didn't know. I didn't recognize that Sabonis kid. Like, I mean, there's, these are the All-Stars, and I'm a pretty big sports fan, and there's guys that I don't even recognize out of their jersey.
Did you recognize the beard, though?
Yes, I recognize the beard.
Just saying.
It was probably on the court crying because somebody touched him wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway. That's why what's the point is that the NBA's alienated a lot of fans, The
NBA's not doing well. Like, no matter how you slice it, they're trying to come up with all kinds of weird-ass mid-season tournaments. And
you go into the Rob Manfred shit with the Astros in baseball.
Yeah.
There's that whole black cloud now it's news. It's in the news cycle, but it's not good news. It's got kids, I think they said that some teams in California have changed the names. They will not use the name Astros because
I wouldn't. If we're not doing Little League anymore, because my son's just not that into it. But if I wouldn't, I guarantee you that the Skokie Little League here is not going to have the Astros be one of the teams.
Exactly. I mean,
guaranteed.
They're big time teams.
I don't even spend the money on those hats and those jerseys.
It's leaving a void.
Yep.
That the XFL is filling for some people. And I am one of those people. I've enjoyed watching some of the games. Some of it's hard to watch. I agree.
It filled your void?
Yes. No pause needed. I'm a football guy. I love football.
I think overall the product is better than I expected, to be honest. And I think it'll get better. I think once they start paying the players a little more,
it sucks coming off a shitty season.
Well, I mean, there's only one team that won. Only the Chiefs are happy. I mean, what do you think the 49ers are like?
I just don't think it's a good product, man.
I mean, the 49ers are talking about right now, is Jimmy G the guy? That's what the 49er fans are talking about. Like, we got Eric Armstead's going to leave. Like, what are we,
Staley's getting old.
Yeah, Staley's getting old, like, I mean, everybody's going through the same shit except for the Chiefs. There's only one.
I'm not saying, I never said we're on an island with the complaining.
I know, I'm just...
My point with the whole XFL thing is just simple, is that it's something that I can get into and watch. There's no soccer. I mean, soccer's not a thing here, There's
what about the Genesis Invitational?
The what?
The Genesis Invitational.
What is that?
The golf tournament that was going on this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly
exactly.
Golf. That's a nap. That's a nap waiting to happen.
Is that why Adam Scott was trending on Twitter?
I was tuning in.
Oh,
it was exciting, exhilarating, actually.
Was it?
I don't watch that.
I'll fight you in the fucking studio.
Did you paint your walls too and watch them dry?
I'm driving to Connecticut right now to fight you.
Sweet. We could get a video of that. That'd be awesome.
Yes, World Star. So, anyways, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna keep keeping an eye on the XFL. I think it's interesting. I think it's not, like I said. I'm not saying anybody rush out and buy jerseys. I do think it's pretty crazy that you can't get any merch. because they way underestimated the amount of, the merchandise is totally back ordered.
Really?
Like, yes.
Good for them.
You can't get merch. I mean, maybe for the Tampa Bay Vipers. Speaking of which, they had another brutal Tressman day. He's got no idea what to do. They're down by like they're down by like 3, and he's trying to punt like with like 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, we'll call timeout.
Yeah, I mean, just
we'll punt. Let's call.
How has this guy ever been successful in any?
And he wrote a
this
book.
Life. Yeah. I don't get it. It'll be interesting. I think one thing that'll make if some players start going to the NFL from the XFL, that's going to make a big difference. And I think there's some guys that are going to raise some eyebrows. This PJ Walker kid looks kind of exciting.
Cameron Artis-Payne was there. He's a former Panther.
Yeah, could be a backup for somebody. I'm not saying they're going to pull a starting quarterback out of the XFL. I mean, it's not going to be like Tommy Maddox.
It would be cool if they got like Manziel and Kaepernick in there and got some names like that.
Do you want to play Mitch Orr with the XFL?
But I think they will. I think they will. Just like the big three. They're going to get some bigger guys, and I think they'll get that. They'll raise. I mean, right now these guys are, except for the quarterbacks, are making $55K a year. That's not much money to risk your life. You know what I mean? Like. So if you get up to $100,000, $150,000, like more than practice squad money, like, then you'll see maybe some guys. I mean, Landry Jones was fucking like drywalling, and Bob Stoops called him up and was like, "Hey, what do you think?" He's like, "All right, well, if you're doing it, I'll do it." So there's gonna be some other guys. I mean, Matt McGloin is a trash fire, but.
Good tweet by you, by the way. Well done.
I don't even know how that.
Redheaded quarterbacks, bro. You got to be careful.
Yeah, you do.
Gingers.
The gingers. It's a recessive gene, but I don't know if I
take it to the max, though.
That's right.
Take that recessive to
full
the max.
power. So, hey, we got anything else?
No, I think we beat it to death. XFLs.
I'll have my aviators ready next week.
Yeah,
we'll go full duh.
You stick
Stogies.
With Mitchers. You keep on keeping on, boys. Live the dream.
Get a big Philly blunt stogie and let's let her rip next time.
All right.
We'll come on and be like, hey, welcome to the Tailgate Show. This is Chuck Swirsky there. Welcome back for another episode of the finest podcast in the land. We're talking only the Bears and Mitchell Trubisky's all day, every day. The greatest quarterback who's ever put on a jersey in the world. He's going to throw for 9,000 touchdowns and 9,000 yards in one game. That's right. Mitchell Trubisky's the Bears.
Brawl shirts.
The Super Bowl.
Rocking the brawl shirts.
You guys do have your brawl
the
shirt?
Brawl. The Brez.
That's it.
The G Stelio. That's it, guys. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in for our first YouTube video release too, man. That was cool.
Got a bunch of views over there on the old tube of you. Appreciate all the love. Please rate, subscribe. Check out the other shows on the Brawl Network. Tell
your friends. Tell your friends if they're fans of other teams. Come check us out.
Tell your enemies.
Tell your enemies.
Yeah. Tell your enemies.
They really enjoy it.
So watch it.
It's the tailgate, baby.
Shout out to all the people in Chicago who are acting like they're somebody because the NBA All-Star game is here. There's been a lot of them downtown. A lot of people.
Court did look cool though. The city skyline. It's pretty cool.
But a lot of people walking around with their best gear on, hoping that they look like somebody. Let's just say that. Let's just say that.
Man. Big city life. Ain't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
All Thanks for listening. Just another episode of Tailgate Show.
The Bears.
The XFL.
No.
The X stands for extreme.